Clive Campbell. Now, of course, he's known as DJ Kool Herc, but he took all the inspiration that New York had to offer, blended it with his Caribbean roots, and created something new that millions and millions of people around the world enjoy. And is that a New York story?
Woo! Because it started right here. You know, this building was the only building down here.
Clive Campbell, DJ Kool Herc, is now recognized by the United States Congress as a legend in our time.
So when the building reached out to me and said, Herc, man, we're in trouble, we need some support, you know, what can you do? I said, I can help. So I bring a notoriety to it, and I find out it's a citywide thing, not just 1520. 1520 just had a place in history where hip-hop was born. And I call this building the Bethlehem for hip-hop.
For instance, everywhere I go, I brag about the Bronx Zoo, the Botanical Gardens. I brag about the Yankees, and especially to the Boston guys. And I brag about the fact that my neighborhood gave the world hip-hop. We brag about the fact that when we leave on Monday mornings to go to Washington, and Chuck knows this, and we come back Friday afternoons, it's good to know that back home there are people fighting a struggle to survive and doing the right thing. And I can tell you that I and Senator Schumer will do whatever we have to do to make sure that in general we preserve this type of housing, and specifically we preserve the beauty and the style and the affordability of this particular housing that we're sitting in today. That is on a very, very serious note. I present to you, on behalf of the people of the Bronx and the people of the United States and the United States Congress, this tribute. This tribute, which I will not read, it presents your history, your accomplishments, and for as long as there is a United States of America, these words will be inscribed in our national record. And to the Tenants Association, to those of you, the tenants, who refuse to give up, who refuse to quit when people told you to quit, who make Schumer and Serrano's job much easier by giving us the ability to brag about people who don't give up. Because it says tribute to Clive Campbell, 1520 Sedgwick Avenue, we also present you with one.
1520, you know, this wasn't the projects, I'm not knocking the project, but this was a building that working class people, like my family, everybody else here, this was the jump off to get your own place. This is it. This is what this building's for. You come here and you make use of your time. We had a recreation room. We had a little basketball court back there. We had parking and good family. And that's what this building was about, and we want to preserve that. I never gave up. I don't intend to give up. And I'm standing among senators. I'm looking at them going down that road. Because that's the only way I can help my people and everybody else. I'm not going to take up more, but there's a few people here that helped me out and carry the legacy of hip-hop. And so when they say hip-hop was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so was 1520 inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too. Because I was the architect of it, and Grandmaster Fast and Bell and met with the first tenant. Therefore, I'm in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too, in another category. Bambaataa, you never. Bambaataa never took the question that was put to him, who started it, who hurt. And I respect you for that, Bam. As a person and also the DJ, you always with yourself. You played me for a few minutes. Okay, Herc. And I incorporate some of your records in my format with respect. And still today, it always been. And the twins been with me since they were like... The only reason why they got in the party, it was a part of the entertainment. Because they were 10 years old. When I come out in the park to play, I play for everybody. It's a community. It ain't about the kids. Your grandmother's here, I'm going to entertain your grandmother from her era, and your grandfather. And if you're Latin, I'm going to give you some red burrito and your baton. I'm going to have a good time to know your neighbors that you didn't know live here, live beside you. That was the block party. And we broke mourning with that. You know, sad to say we can't do that anymore. I love to do it, but it's a lot of struggle. And all through that, I went through my trials and tribulation. I was out there getting high. And that record said, I don't want to go to rehab, baby. I went to rehab. And they rebuilt me. And the guy I want to thank for that, the man I want to thank is Minister Monsignor O'Brien, the man who was the architect of Daytime. And I want to leave that to you because he rebuilt me for me to stand here to let you know what's going on. Thank you.
My name is Chuck. I hope I bring you luck. I've come to help the tenants keep their green. How was that? But it is great to be here, and I want to thank Jose Serrano for his steadfast leadership. I can tell you this, you know, we see each other in public, but then we go to Washington where you really see what people are like because they're not in the public eye. He fights even more passionately and even harder for the people of this community behind the scenes than he does publicly, and that says a whole lot about Jose Serrano and who he is and what he is. Here. I also want to thank the Urban Homesteading Assistance Board and tenants and neighbors for the great work that you have all done. We have worked at every end of the city together to preserve affordable housing.
Amy Chan of New York Tenants and Neighbors, and Andy Reicher for Executive Director of UHAB.
We're here today to celebrate the legacy of 1520 Sedgwick, but we also want to send out a very clear message, which is that affordable housing in New York City is at risk of being decimated.
That's right.
1520 Sedgwick Avenue, along with 13 other Mitchell Lamas, are currently facing conversion to market rate housing by the rich and the powerful. Every year, at least 4,000 homes for the working people of this city become another investment opportunity for greedy developers. We believe that Mayor Bloomberg has not done enough to preserve affordable housing in New York City. Mayor Bloomberg has not done enough to preserve affordable housing in New York City.
So then the question is, what are we going to ask the mayor to do? What are we going to ask Commissioner Sean Donovan of HPD to do? We want them to do two things. One is, we want them to not approve the buyout of this building. That's right. And the second thing we want is a moratorium on any buyouts on any building. That's right. Until we figure out a way to make sure that buildings like this and buildings like this all over the city can be preserved for the people who live here. Very simple message, and we need to do it. We've already lost more than half of the Mitchell Lama units in New York City, and we can't afford to lose the other half. Thank you.
What do we want?